Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of Scott Selections here for Thursday, November 14th. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up giving out a look-ahead line in a college football matchup that's taking place on Saturday between USC and California. So if you did not check out that video, you can, as that is currently also in the playlist. But in terms of today's play of the day, we'll be looking at a college basketball matchup, a primetime college basketball matchup between number 3 Michigan State and number 12 Seton Hall. Unfortunately, though, so I'm supposed to give out lines from domestic books like FanDuel and DraftKings and even PointsBet. At the same point, the line isn't up on any of those right now, as I film this at roughly 3 in the morning. It's not up, but at the same point, I'm not going to be able to make a video tomorrow, so I wanted to get the video out now. However, this is available offshore at -6, at -110, and that will be the line that I'm giving out. In terms of the name of the book, I know which book I'm using. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say which book I'm using, but either or, it is available on the offshore books at -6, and if you don't believe me, I will take a screenshot of it and send it on Twitter just so people know that I actually took it. But in terms of the play of the day, we like Michigan State -6, which is available at -110. The main reason why we like this is due to the fact that Seton Hall will not be at full strength, as they'll be missing their star player Miles Powell, who suffered an injury against Stony Brook in his last game, and he is already announced to be missing this game. Michigan State, on the other hand, has a very interesting season. They ended up losing to Kentucky in the opener in a neutral court, but they ended up beating Binghamton in their second game by 53 points. Binghamton stinks. I'm not going to read much into it. Michigan State is still an elite college basketball team. And Seton Hall, they were able to beat Stony Brook without Miles Powell, but I simply just don't think they're the same team with Powell out of the lineup. In terms of statistics, another thing that you have to keep in mind is that ESPN's stats and pretty much any place you look are pretty much inaccurate with Miles Powell. It says that he's averaging 13.5 points per game. That is only because he played 4 minutes in the second game against Stony Brook. In the one game he actually played in its entirety, he scored 27 points in 30 minutes against Wagner. So he's a very elite scorer, and now he's not going to be able to play. And I question Seton Hall's efficiency on offense with Powell out of the lineup. You're going to be relying on some other people like McKnight and Roden, but as a whole, I simply just think Michigan State is a better overall team now that they will be playing it at full strength. I'll put an asterisk around that, though. There are some rumors going around regarding the star player Cassius Winston on whether or not he will be playing after the passing of his brother. However, according to some reports, he is expected to play, and Coach Izzo said that he expects him to play, but if Winston decides to not play, then Izzo will rightfully just support whatever decision he makes. However, I would find it pretty interesting if Winston played against Binghamton pretty much the day of or the day after his brother passed away and then decided not to play in this game. I'd find that a bit peculiar. All signs are pointing to Winston playing in this game, and I think that he will. But with Seton Hall missing Powell, this line has already climbed from -5.5 to -6, and this line should end up closing at somewhere around 7 or 7.5, as I expect the entire public to be betting on this tomorrow. So I'm not saying that you should always back the public, but you could always get a better number than the public if you jump the gun, and that's what I'm recommending that all of you do today, as I'm giving this video out early, just so you can take Michigan State -6, and that will be the play of the day. Now, in terms of some of the leans on today's betting card, I'll start with college basketball. First game that I will be looking to, what do I like here? It's pretty limited in terms of college basketball today, but I will lean towards Georgetown -1. They originally had Pick'em. They're still available to Pick'em some spots, but some spots have -1. You can shop around accordingly, but I think money will come in on Georgetown. They've looked a bit inconsistent, but they have been really solid at home. And Penn State, something I've noticed about all Big Ten teams, you tend to be really good at home, you tend to be really bad on the road. I think Georgetown has just the superior roster, and I think Georgetown should be able to win this game at home. So lean to Georgetown in that one. Another lean I will give out is between, what do I like? It's between Louisiana Monroe and Mississippi State, and I actually like the dog here at UL Monroe at +15.5. Mississippi State, they've played 2 games, they've won 2 games, they haven't looked impressive in either of them. And I simply just think that this team is not built to win by margin. This team has won each of its first 2 games by 9 points or less. And I think UL Monroe plays good enough defensively to keep this game close. I think Mississippi State will win, but I think this game will be decided in the single digits, so I would lean to UL Monroe plus the points in that one. Now, in switching gears, talking about the NBA, in terms of today's card, it's also pretty small. but looking at the betting markets, I would lean to, what do I like here? I'll lean to the Clippers -1. It's open at some spots offshore. I know the Clippers ended up playing today. They lost to the Rockets, but New Orleans has been terrible defensively, and I think the Clippers will simply pick them apart. I think that New Orleans has some talented pieces, but as a whole, this team plays virtually no defense, and I think that the Clippers will win this game pretty easily. Lean to the Clippers on that one, and even though this is the second night of a back-to-back for the Clippers, they did lose the first night, so I don't think they're going to be coasting through this one. I think the Clippers will come out, try to get a win, and I think they will look for a bounce-back win here. Lean to the Clippers in that one. Other than that, though, looking at today's NFL card, as you finally have a football game in the NFL on Thursday, after waiting the past 2 days without any NFL action. It's between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cleveland opened up as a 2.5-point favorite, currently up to -3. I find this line peculiar. I think it's a trap line, but at the same point, I don't really know how you don't bet Pittsburgh. It's a trap. I'll lean to Pittsburgh just because of the fact that I just don't trust Cleveland at all. Congratulations, you beat Buffalo. You ran 11 plays from the goal line and couldn't score. I just don't like Kitchens. I think Mayfield is going to be running for his life behind this offensive line, and I think Pittsburgh's defensive line will do whatever it wants to get after Mayfield. Connor is expected to be back. I think he'll play well. Rudolph's been okay. I think Pittsburgh will win this game. I think it'll be close, but I'll lean to Pittsburgh plus the 3.5 as well as the money line, as I think that Pittsburgh should probably win this game outright. But it's Thursday night. You tend to pick the home team on Thursday night. But overall, I just see a talent mismatch here, so lean to the Steelers in that one. But the play of the day will be on Michigan State -6, which is available offshore at -110. Other than that, though, this is going to be this installment of Scott's Selections here for Thursday, November 14th. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.